You know, I haven't talked about an adult cartoon in a long time, and since I said I'd do the Cleveland show eventually, let's talk about Bob's Burgers. When Bob's Burgers first started out, many people just wrote it off as another Family Guy clone that'll get canceled in a year. Well, 13 years later, and not only are they going stronger than ever, but they even had a movie come out in 2022. Family Guy used to make jokes about how this show can never last. Now, it's dunking on itself for doing so. The success of Bob's Burgers can be boiled down to two factors. First one is that it's not a Family Guy clone. There's pretty much zero of Family Guy in Bob's Burgers, besides the fact that they're both families of 5 who live on the East Coast. The Belchers aren't a perfect family, but they're definitely the most functional family in an adult cartoon since The Hills. So yeah, you could call this a reincarnation of King of the Hill. Secondly, the show tries to do its own thing with its humor. There are some crude jokes, but they're very far and few. Most of the other jokes involve the kids being kids, or Bob's misfortune that could rival that of Frank Grimes. But you're not going to get anything involving stereotypes or tired jokes about how Bob hates his wife, because he and Linda have one of the best portrayals of a marriage in modern history. However, unfortunately, we're not looking at one of their good episodes today because I'm a cynical douchebag like that. Nah, today we're examining the episode Family Fracas, an episode that absolutely no one is in the mood to defend. The episode starts out with the Belchers ready to leave for a movie night, but Bob's car won't start. As he's trying, Jimmy Pesto mocks him. I can make a joke about his voice actor Jay Johnston being a January 6th writer, but that's not here or there. Bob's car refuses to cooperate, so they decide to just go home. On the way, they get a flyer to attend the filming of a game show called Family Fracas. While they're in line, they run into their old enemy Chuck, who's the new host of the show.
Hey, isn't that Pam's ex-husband, Chuck?
Oh my god, what's he doing here? Hey Chuck.
Hello, Belchers. Long time no see, since you got my show canceled and me fired. Linda, nice to see you dressed again.
Thank you.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Water under the bridge, Bob.
Oh, good.
Dark, dirty water under a horrible bridge.
You know, I'm starting to think he's still upset about that. One of the families who were contestants for the show ends up dropping out at the last minute, and now the producer needs to find a replacement. The Belchers, sans Bob, volunteer, much to Chuck's chagrin, but Bob accepts under the premise of a new minivan. The games begin, and Tina and Jean lose the first challenge, but Linda and Louise win the next. Bob wins the final challenge, and they get the opportunity to spin the prize wheel for a chance to win the minivan. This time they just get a bucket of Fracas foam to take home with them, but will return the next day as the champs, so they can still win the minivan. The next day, Bob tries to gloat to Jimmy.
Yeah.
Come on, you big idiot. Hey, Jimmy, did you happen to catch Family Fracas last night? 'Cause we were on it, and we won.
Oh yeah, is that the show where the most pathetic family wins?
No, it isn't, Jimmy. Why don't you watch it tonight? I'll send you a shout-out.
Oh yeah, why didn't you watch this? Hey, I'm Bob, I'm on a game show. Blah, blah, blah.
I don't want to watch that. I'm going to change the channel with my remote that I have. Click.
I'm still Bob, and I'm
wait,
still
click.
on
I just
this
shut you
show.
off.
And
I just
I'm
shut
on
you off
that.
so you can't
Now
say
I'm
anything.
on Shut
I
Up
shut you
channel.
off.
This is why you max out your charisma before gloating.
Oh my gosh, there's Pam. Hi, Pam. I mean, Your Honor.
Chuck, I see you're working with these nice folks again. How fun for you. Well, I have to get to court.
You're not a real judge.
If anyone needs me, I'll be in my chambers.
It's not chambers, it's a dressing room.
I sentence you to kiss my ass. See this right here? That's your
you would
punishment.
love that. Oh, you would love it. I will do it.
Somebody better get somebody's ass. We're all gonna go crazy.
Wow, they're not even trying to be subtle with the foreshadowing here. Bob wins the next night, but they still didn't get the minivan.
Fool again!
Chuck, can I give someone a shout-out?
Absolutely not.
Jimmy Pesto's an idiot at the end.
Tough shout-out. Thanks for sharing, Bob. So glad you guys are coming back.
If I could just mention my restaurant, Bob.
No, you may not.
Gotta hand it to him. He saw an opportunity and seized it. We get a montage of the Belchers annihilating the competition night after night as they struggle to win the minivan, with some brief flashes to Jimmy and his annoyance. Chuck goes to Harry and begs him to disqualify the Belchers because he doesn't want them winning. Harry forces himself on Chuck and tells him to get over it. End scene.
Maybe someone else should spin the prize wheel tonight, since Louise keeps landing on foam.
Oh, I thought you wanted 5 big buckets of foam.
No?
I wish you would have told me sooner, Tina!
Don't worry, we'll beat the other family like we always do, and tonight we win the van. I feel it.
You're gonna feel your butt being spanked. That's what you're gonna feel.
Jimmy? You're on Family Fracas?
Yep, I signed us up. Get ready to lose.
I only count 4 pestos and your bartender Trev.
I told him he was the son I always wanted.
What? Right on, Pops.
Yeah, it was only a matter of time before Jimmy resolved to join Family Fracas so he could beat Bob. And if you know anything about this show, you'll know that once Jimmy gets involved, things go bad for Bob. Coincidentally, this is where the episode starts to go downhill. It's kind of become a motif on this channel. Chuck tries hyping up Jimmy by reminding them that they have a mutual hatred for Bob. Don't know about you, but I see a bad mood on the rise. The contest goes neck and neck until the human claw. Jimmy suspiciously wins almost immediately, and when they spin the prize wheel, it lands right on the minivan. The kids try to get Bob down from his harness, but they rip his pants out for everyone to see. Shouldn't the show get canceled again? After all, that's what sunk Chuck's last show. Later on, Bob ponders how Jimmy was able to find the ball so fast while Jimmy macks him in his new minivan.
Ugh, this is the 5th time he's circled the block. Jimmy, I get it. You won the minivan.
Face it, Bob, you were destined to lose. I knew it. Chuck sure knew it.
Well, what do you mean Chuck sure knew it? What does that mean?
What? Nothing. No, I have a disease where I say things, that makes me drive away.
Guilty consciences sure are a bitch, aren't they? Bob replays a video of Jimmy winning, and it all but confirms the idea that Chuck helped Jimmy cheat. You know, if Chuck mentioning their mutual hatred beforehand didn't give that away too much. Bob confronts Harry over the cheating scandal, and Harry gives Bob the opportunity to sue Chuck via Pam's court because he's the producer of that show too. Well, that, and because he knows Bob can't afford to go through the actual courts.
What makes you say that?
Those stains, your smells, you walked here, your children, you're not wearing any jewelry.
Ah, crap. All right, Pam's court, let's do it.
All right, congratulations, Bob. The Belchers are back on TV. You know what that rhymes with? Long Island iced tea. I'm gonna have one.
You have a bar in your desk?
You don't have a bar in your desk?
I'm gonna leave you alone.
Thank you.
For some reason, I hate this guy, but I also love him. So Bob takes Jimmy and Chuck to Pam's court, and it's immediately out to a rocky start as Pam and Chuck begin to trade barbs. Pam asks for evidence, but Bob reveals he doesn't actually have anything to prove collusion between Jimmy and Chuck. However, during the commercial break, he hatches an idea.
Wait a sec, that's it!
In the case of Great Balls of Ire, I rule
Wait,
that...
Your Honor, I have new evidence. I can prove my case.
Go on.
These cameras are always rolling, right?
Correct.
And same with the cameras on Family Fracas, right?
Uh-oh.
One of those cameras may have caught Chuck helping Jimmy cheat.
The foam cam! Dad, the foam cam is on the ceiling! I never forget a camera that feeds me.
Objection, objection, hearsay, inadmissible hearsay.
Overruled. Bring me the foam cam tape.
This obviously causes Chuck to panic as he plainly admits to Harry that he helped Jimmy cheat by placing the ball in his mouth before he dove into the pit. At first, Harry looks like he's gonna make Chuck go down. Until...
I'll take that.
Ha! There's the evidence, idiot.
You're the idiot.
What do we do? I'm not gonna let the host of one of my shows lose a trial on another one of my shows.
Hey, what are you doing?
Whoops.
Judge Pam, did you see that?
Huh? See what?
I saw it!
The evidence must be on that tape, which means Dad was right.
Yes!
What is going on with my lighter right now? It's burning this tape.
What the hell? He's burning the tape!
Pam, you know what to do.
Yep. Harry costs Bob the case, meaning Jimmy wins anyway. So the one thing that the Belchers had going for them gets ripped away from them. Oh yeah, and they get foamed because that happens on this show. On the way home, they see Jimmy struggling to change the tire in his minivan.
Look, there it is.
Oh, I love it so much.
Oh, problem with the van, Jimmy?
What? It's nothing.
Damn it.
You don't know how to change a tire. Ha!
You don't know how to change.
Hey, who am I? I can't change a tire and my whole family is watching me not be able to do something simple.
You are mean.
Yeah, Bob.
He's dead.
What? He's the one who said it to us when my car wouldn't start.
Yeah, but he was funny.
He was funnier? No?
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
No, he wasn't.
He kinda was.
All right. Let me help. Move over.
Let me help.
He's just did it again. He's doing it right now.
Oh, yeah, it's funny.
And that's how the episode ends. Why? Why did you want Jimmy to win so badly? Did Jay Johnston threaten all of your families if you made Bob win over him this time? Moreover, why would the Belchers feel bad for Jimmy? He still cheated them out of the minivan. Whatever, that was Family Fracas. I'm giving it a 4 out of 10. The first half is roughly enjoyable, It's fun to see the Belchers actually succeed at something because everything else goes south for them. But then, for some contrived reason, they decide to have to stick with the formula and make them lose to the Pestos. I get it. It's totally a character for Harry to put his battle line before actual justice. Or at least, from what little we know of him. But why at the end, when Bob clearly has a small victory over Jimmy not knowing how to change a tire, they have to take that away from him too? I mean, I guess at the end of it all, Jimmy still needs Bob to help him, but Bob should at least get to revel in whatever joy he can get out of the shitty situation. Yeah, this episode would have worked better if Bob chose to cheat against Jimmy instead. Then having him lose his ill-gotten gains would be more satisfying. Even if it's out of character, he'd get punished for it. I don't know. Very strange choices were made here that didn't pay off.
Today's commentary is going to be on Blaze the Movie Fan, and considering this is my first time coming after him, I think I should get this out of the way. I don't hate Blaze the Movie Fan as an individual. In fact, I don't even dislike him. He does his job well for the most part as a reviewer. As a commentator, though, he sucks. This isn't necessarily a commentary here, more a response, but it still has the same problems. He made a response to Macboy Redux's retrospect on the logic of Mr. Enter. I'll be covering that today. So with all that out of the way, let's get this show on the road.
Green is not a creative color.
So let's dive in.
I know people are probably going to complain about that, saying that, oh, that's a pussy move, or, but I like that video, or something like that.
Those assumptions would be correct, because it is indeed a very fucking pussy move. Alright, I am willing to admit that this is nitpicking on my part, but trust me, there are some legitimate issues that I have with this video.
Alright, here's the first problem. You cut out Macboy's alluded reasoning that people would get on his case over. Because of that, Macboy's line has no context and doesn't make sense to your audience. And it also makes your point just as vague and baseless. I would go look for the context myself, but no. You're the presenter, and as a presenter, your job is to make sure we all know what's going on.
Well, for one, as I brought up, it's still getting spammed by Enter fanboys, as well as people who don't know how the commentary community work.
Let me tell you something, Alpha Omega Sin gets negative comments on his videos all the time. He gets thousands of them. So he gets way more negative comments than you would get on that particular video. And you know what he does about these comments? He mocks some of them and ignores the rest. In other words, he doesn't let these comments bother him. So let me ask you something, Macboy Redux. Why didn't you just ignore all the negative comments you get on that video? It seems like a simple task to me. So why the hell don't you do it?
Well, let's take a look at their differences, shall we? Alpha Omega Sin has 464,000 subscribers. Macboy has over 900. Not to mention, Macboy's video cracked 60,000 views before it went private, and he got a lot of negative feedback from Enter fans' hearts. Given how he's a small-time YouTuber, he probably gets torn down much faster and much more mercilessly than Alpha Omega Sin would. I understand that haters and backdrafts shouldn't hurt you so much, but not everyone can handle it as well as the next guy. Now, I'm not saying Macboy is a little bitch. I'm saying this is something beyond his preparations.
There are some obvious problems that anyone could see, such as the presentation. I mean, there's the stuttering in it, and sure, I have stuttered in other videos, but usually I do enough retakes where it's not as bad as it was in this video.
I have watched this video 1 trillion times and I have never, not once, noticed the problem that you are addressing here. If that problem is so fucking obvious, like you say, I would have noticed it by now, but nope, I didn't.
Okay, let me help you.
Now, for those who don't know who Mr. Enter is an animation critic. He pretty much looks at cartoons, whether it be for adults, kids, or even stuff on the internet. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, and at the time, he seemed to be doing a great job at it. But over time, his reviews have gotten less entertaining and a lot more nitpicky, and simply put, he's kind of becoming a soccer mom. He tends to get upset at some of the littlest things, like if there's even just a hint of cruelty or mean-spiritedness. It doesn't matter if it's nowhere as over the top as stuff like the Squidward torture porns. If there's a bit of cruelty, he'll bitch about it.
Keep in mind that I couldn't get footage from the real video because it went private before I knew it, so I had to play a part from Comment Jack's 6th commentary that was on that video. But from what I showed you, certainly you noticed some stammering and speech pauses. Yeah, it's more prominent later on, but I couldn't get enough footage to show you that.
But I think the biggest problem with this video is just the fact that my points weren't explained that well.
So fucking what? The purpose of that video was to address the main problems that you have with Mr. Enter. The video wasn't supposed to go into too much detail since it was overview of the mysterious Mr. Enter in general. And you did address all of the major issues with his videos, and that's something that you should be proud of.
Okay, Blaze, quick question, feel free not to answer, but do you even listen to yourself talk? Like, did you really say that it doesn't matter if you don't go into detail? Because it actually matters quite a lot. Besides, he was saying that he didn't explain his points very well. Pretty sure the whole point of an expose is to explain yourself well. I mean, sure, you did say he managed to get his point across, but it still stands that he didn't do a good job at it.
But I think the largest problem was, honestly, the video was actually a bit rushed. As I mentioned in the comments, I was having problems with my editing software, and I just lost patience with it, and I said, fuck it, I just want to get this video done. Which, looking at it, was a pretty bad idea.
Then the video never felt rushed to me, but even if it was rushed, so fucking what?
Yeah, fuck putting in actual effort, I'll just make my commentaries using plastic spoons and school glue!
Green is not a creative color.
So what are some of the problems that I have with the points? Well, one, the Angela Anaconda review, I got people defending how the episode was pretty bad, which, yeah, I can kind of see how the episode wasn't that well written. If anything, I think the real problem was just the fact that Enter was basing the Net's behavior just on that episode and not taking any mind of the other episodes. I'm not trying to say Angela Anaconda was a good show, but still, Enter could have done a better job.
The fact that you are justifying your points and doing a damn good job at it proves that putting the video on private was a huge fucking mistake. I mean, seriously, dude, you just admitted that your points were reasonable.
He's retrospecting, so of course he's making justifications now. It's just that at that time, his points were faulty. Listen to what the guy says.
Green is not a creative color.
And I'm also getting tired of people making commentaries, especially with Joshua8428 bitching about it.
There are 3 commentaries of that video that I'm aware of. Let me ask you something. Are most of these commentaries really worth taking seriously? I mean, most of these commentaries were very fucking poor. The fact that we both made a commentary on Comment Jack's commentary on the logic of Mr. Enter proves that commentary was very poor.
Blaze, did you stop to think that the reason he doesn't want more commentaries on that video is because the commentaries on that video suck? I mean, think about it. Would you enjoy a bunch of shitty videos being done on you over and over? I doubt very sincerely that you would. I'm gonna end the commentary here because all he does is give his final thoughts, and there's nothing I have to say about that. So, Blaze, I gotta say that this video is a step up from some of your older stuff. I mean that. But you still have the problem of missing points, coming up with stupid rebuttals, and your editing with how you skip over necessary parts of context still lingers from when you did that commentary on Sock. Which might be lemon juice on an open wound because you regret that video and still made that mistake anyway.